everyone, thank you for joining me. Today is February 13th, 2023. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. Yeah, I went out and got some more canning jars. I'm currently making barbecue beef. We'll see how it comes out. I've never made it before, so if it comes out good, I'll make some more and I'll make a video for you guys. Yep, I'm still prepping because of all the world events that are going on. You just don't know. Something's coming. Anyways, USGS reported early this morning a magnitude 3.7 earthquake. 3:07 a.m. and they gave it an intensity level of 6, which means someone's got damage. And there was one report, maybe that's the person who said they have damage, and I don't see anything on here. Let me zoom. Can I zoom in? Yeah, I can. All right. Yeah, it was near Ten Sleep, Wyoming. Many of you that follow me will remember this area. Back in 2015, sometime possibly in November. Yeah, and this crack that opened up, which was several stories deep, 750 feet long, and at least 50 foot wide. It looked a lot wider than that to me. Different scientists said that it might have been caused by a landslide. I don't know, we got spreading, yeah. I don't think it was a landslide. They don't know if there was an earthquake that caused it to open up, but it was discovered by some hunters in the area, and then they reported it. It wasn't there before, and there was no sign that there was a crack opening up. A guide and several people that had hired him, yeah, they discovered it, and you can see some of the rocks down here at the bottom. Look how, yeah, that looks like it's stretching, like it pulled apart to me. Doesn't look like a rock slide. I've never been able to find the exact location of this crack, but today's earthquake was somewhere within that location. USGS said it was a magnitude 3.7. They actually didn't fudge about it. Now, back in April of 2021, there was a magnitude, well, it says 3.9. Okay, and then, let's see, November of 2017, there was a magnitude 4.2. This area does not get very many earthquakes. USGS said it was 6.8 miles in depth. They gave it an intensity level of 6, a shaking of intensity level 4. So intensity level 6 means it was felt. Probably that one person that sent in a report to USGS said they were frightened, ran outdoors, and they had damage. Possibly falling plaster or chimneys, maybe some cracks in the foundation or the walls or windows. Yeah, if you had damage, this is a really sparsely populated area. They gave an intensity level between 4 and 4.5. I downloaded 4 different monitors. Once again, for some reason, I don't think it showed up here on Denny Creek. We got the borehole. Borehole 207, which is down by the western boundary. And we have the western boundary monitor. And then the far right is Holmes Hill. Alright, let me show you that. There's the earthquake as it came in on the spectrogram. And there's the seismic signature. Yeah, the fault moved. And yeah, I'm not surprised. There's so much pressure coming up. Maybe that crack opened up some more wherever it's at. Let me bring it down here. We got a couple more earthquakes. But this is the only one I believe they're reporting. Let me double check. Nope, I was wrong. There is 3 earthquakes. The most recently, Stanley, Idaho. That would be along the Snake River Plateau. More than likely, let's take a peek. By the Chalice, excuse me, fault zone. Yeah, it was. Okay, right there. And let's bring it out. Yeah, this is the Trans-Chalice Fault Zone. I've talked about this. It goes all the way up to Canada. And it's slowly moving northeast, I guess. And then we also have the Sawtooth Fault Zone, which is right here. Let's zoom back into where it was at, and I'll mark that. Right there. Okay. 10 kilometers in depth, and they'll often put 10 kilometers when they're not sure. That's just their rule of thumb, their generalization for earthquakes depths when they just don't know. 10 kilometers. Or it would be about 6.2 miles. I don't see an earthquake at, well, 12:15 and 50 seconds. I see one at 12:16 and 15 seconds. This is the borehole. And 12:16 and 55 seconds. And it looks like plate movement again. Let me show you another monitor. This here is the western boundary. Okay, and you can see here, 12:10. They're not reporting that. Let me extract that. Yeah, harmonic tremors. And yeah, volcanic tremors. Okay, there was a little one before that, right there at 12:05. Now this is all universal time. It's going small on me. Okay. 12:13. And we'll extract that. That's tectonic in nature, or fault movement. And then we got this one at 12:16. We got 4 along here. Actually 5. There's 12:16 and 50 seconds, and then there's another one. But they're not reporting those, are they? Let's take a look at the spectrograms. Again, this is the western boundary, and this has been showing a lot of activity. This here is the line of melt. I just went past that one. Okay, and we'll go to another monitor. This is Denny Creek. I think this one stopped working. Yeah, about 23, close to 25 universal time. You can see down here. Let me pull this over. The other monitors are still working. We're currently at little after 125. But anyways, yeah, Denny Creek shut down for some reason. At least I got the borehole working. That's good news. I've talked about how I believe there is a crack coming up, a plume somewhere over there, or maybe several plumes, trying to allow the magma to ascend to the surface. We actually now have 2 lines of melt very close to each other. I don't know if you can see that little gap between there. I want to go to the seismic signature. Yeah, see? I keep talking about this. Let me make this bigger. Yep. Yep. We got the faults moving. The plates moving. See, it's rounded. That indicates tectonic movement. But, yeah, see how they're all rounded? Let me go here. Look at that. Let's go to the spectrogram. Yeah, the spectrogram tells a lot. Sometimes we see a lot. Oh, look at that. That's, yeah. All right, we'll come down and just, there's a bigger one over here. Yeah, you can see the heat coming up. And we'll come down here. This is marked in red. 2032. So, about 1:32 in the afternoon today. And then we got, let's look at the signature. Yeah, pop. Now that came from the north. And then we got another one marked in red. About a minute later. Same direction, came from the north. But look at all this. Oh my goodness. And we'll just pull it across so you guys can see what's going on there. Yeah. And I'll show you where Denny Creek is at in the western boundary. We'll just keep pulling across. Yeah, you can see little gaps between the 2 lines of melt. Yeah. You know, they go, oh, Yellowstone's not going to erupt. Well, if Yellowstone was not on a threat list, then why was NASA looking into pumping cold water into the caldera to cool it down? I mean, you just don't pump cold water to cool down a volcano unless it's acting up. Okay, and this is the most recent activity before they shut it down or something happened. Let's see. That's kind of small, isn't it? Let me go back to that. There we go. Okay. And we'll extract that. See, harmonic tremors. Yep. Yep. I'm prepping. Like I said, I got some more canning jars so I can pressure can some more food and put it up. It's really hard for my kids to prep, so basically it's just me. My daughter's working 2 jobs, and it's hard with inflation. She keeps complaining about the price of food. I told her I have no idea how much food that I have will last. I don't know. You know, if something does happen, something major, the adults will probably have to cut back to 1 meal a day. You can't do that with babies, you know, children. I got 6 grandchildren. Yeah, there's the spectrogram. Let's try that for this, and I'll make this bigger, and let's take a peek at what it is showing when I make it larger. Yeah, that's really telling, isn't it? Nothing to see. Please move along. Yeah, let's go here. We'll make that bigger. Yep, and just for the fun of it, oh, we'll pick one out. That's probably the biggest one that I see here. Yeah. All right, here we have the western boundary, and we'll make that one bigger. And we got some other earthquakes here. We'll make that one bigger. I'm having fun doing this. I don't know why I never thought about it before. Yeah. Okay, let's come down and see what it was showing earlier. They'll say, oh, it's snowmobiles. Yeah. Let's look at the seismic signature. Yeah, this is, oops, there was one I just seen. Where did it go? Is that where I was at? Yeah, you can see the popping of the ground. Yeah. Pop, pop, pop. As the magma tries to come up, making that ground brittle. There's 2 more there. Yeah, let's go to the spectrogram, see what we got. Yeah. The rhyolite cap right now is holding the magma under the ground. Magma naturally wants to rise, kind of like a beach ball filled with air under the water. You're holding it down and it just wants to pop right up. And that's what magma does. But it's got that rhyolite cap. Think of it as a hand holding down that beach ball. Well, eventually it does pop up. I mean, if you constantly added air to it, yeah, eventually you cannot hold it down. And so what's happening right now, the magma is traveling sideways, trying to find an area where it's weak, and it can come through. And it looks like this area here probably is it. And we don't know until it happens. One day it'll happen. Let's look at the spectrogram there. We'll make that bigger. Yeah. Alright, so this here is the location of the borehole 207. This is the Madison River area. Over here we got Hedgen Lake. And this is the monitor for Denny Creek. And then, let's see, western boundary right over here. So I got them pretty close. And then Holmes Hill, that one might be, yep, right there. In the center of the Madison River area where all the earthquakes have been occurring. But over here, this is where they're having problems. And Earthquake Lake was formed because they had that large earthquake. This is an area where they have what they call block zone where the faults don't go straight across. We got a weird little thing that goes up towards the north and then jags off towards the west. Now they have revised where that earthquake that they had in 1959 was at. Let's see. Right there. That's like the third time that they've moved the location. Yeah, it was a magnitude 7.2. The next largest earthquake that I have seen there at the park, let me bring this out, was a 6.1, I think. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, 1975. Is that it right there? Yeah, 6.1. They downgraded it to a 5.9. What was odd about that, being that large, and there was no earthquake swarm afterwards. Now that was June 30th. And they said it was a 5.9 after revising it. And it was 7 kilometers in depth. So that would be about 4.3 miles in depth. Down here by the Gibson River. We got Wolf Lake and Grebe Lake. Yep, getting dark there. It's currently 6:44 p.m. 7:44 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Yeah, we got a storm coming in tomorrow. It's going to be, for me at least, but what I get is usually a day after Yellowstone. We're going to have freezing rain and snow starting tomorrow. So I'm glad I went to the store and, yeah, refilled some of the things that I've been using that are in my supplies. What are your thoughts? Are you preparing for whatever may come with all these world events? You know, they even reported that Russia was currently using balloons over Ukraine. I don't know. Yeah, I should make another video about UFOs. Anyways, what are your thoughts? Please put them down below. Please stay safe. Be prepared. And get your house in order. Physically, mentally, and spiritually, as they say. And I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.